With us today, we have Agapi Kyriakopoulou, Marketing and ESG Manager of Envol Entrepreneurship. She has reviewed honestly more than 200 pitch decks already, so she has a lot of experience in this domain. She knows what an investor wants to hear, and she can give you very important and useful tips on how to present yourselves effectively in front of someone that can potentially take your startup to another level. So, Agapi, feel free to introduce yourself and share with us what you have prepared today.
Perfect. Hi, everyone. Happy to be here with you today. Maria won't be able to join, so I'm going today to host this presentation. So as Mike said, I'm the Marketing and ESG Manager of Envol here in Greece. I'm more than 4 years in the organization, and I have evaluated thousands of business plans and pitch decks every year because we run several accelerator programs and business competitions. So I have seen several teams and I've met with several teams. And today I'm going to share with you some tips, do's and don'ts, and also some templates that you might be able to use. So let's try to share my screen. I don't know if you can see my screen.
We can see it, Agapi, yes.
Perfect. So welcome officially to the Pitch Perfect Masterclass. I won't tell a lot about Envol because you have already heard about Envol from Mike. So we are a business support organization that we ignite innovation and accelerate founders since 2012. Currently, we have 3 pillars. The first pillar is the founder support, the second one is the upskilling, and the third one is the business innovation. The business innovation pillar includes also this EU project, like the skills to scale that we're here today. As Envol, we have presence in the startup ecosystem, the Greek startup ecosystem, for more than 12 years. And until now, we have found 37 winners. They came from 19 different sectors. We have gave them 6 million euros in interest-free funding, and their valuation is more than 1 billion euros. Here you can see some of the startups that are in our portfolio. And this year we launched a new program that is called Envolve Excel, and it's a holistic accelerator that has to do with startups that are focused on digital transformation and of course sustainability. So let's see now how we can stand out. Of course, the competition is tough and we have to be different from all the others. We have to find ways to be unique. So how we might achieve that? Of course, by starting with the why. We know that we are bringing solution to the market, a solution that someone is going to use. It's going to bring him or her value. Why did we choose the entrepreneurs? Why we want to follow this journey? We want to bring a change. Of course, we want to bring change by bringing up a new solution, and this is the time for us to shine with that. Of course, we can't do everything alone. We have to find friends. Networking is crucial for all these steps. This accelerator is also a nice opportunity for you to network with people that you might also collaborate in the future. As you are, all of you are in the first steps in your entrepreneurial journey, of course, we are going to hear a lot of no's, but you don't have to give up of that. This is a valuable feedback for you in order to become better and see how you can adjust your wording, your USP, and how it's more easier and probable for the other to understand what you're doing and what's the value that you bring to the table. So in order to be able to pitch and to pitch perfect, you have to be prepared. What does this mean? Of course, you need an elevator pitch. We will deep dive later on that. This pitch has to be short, clear, and specific. And of course, we have to highlight the value and the opportunity that you are bringing. And of course, by ending your pitch, you need to have a clear ask. In order to have that, you also need, of course, the personal branding. Behind of its idea, it's a strong team. So you have to connect with industry leaders, share your vision, mission, values, connect with these people that are going to help you, or they can make introduction of you and your team, and of course, share practices and tools, and don't be afraid to get feedback. So in order to achieve that, you need to practice a lot. As we can see here, practice like an athlete. And of course, have a long shot. Have an eye on the future, not only the prize. So in order to achieve that, here we have created some tips. You have to always have prepared your business toolkit. This includes the elevator pitch. So you need to have a pitch for all the different audiences. This it can be a customer, it can be an investor. You might want to have a new team member to increase your team. The second one is to have your pitch deck. We will deep dive later also in that, because you need also a presentation, a short deck with all the useful info that the potential audience is going to use. And of course, number is your data. Especially if you are in the first stages, you might prepare a 3 to 5 years forecast or a short P&L. So before any networking opportunity in the physical world, you need business cards, a demo or a flyer of your product or service. You have always to keep eye contact, firm handshake, to do research, always to keep an updated LinkedIn profiles, because you never know how or who might reach to you regarding your product, and of course to show your passion. So let's start now with our pitch deck. So the first step is to create your elevator pitch. All of us have heard the word elevator pitch, so as we can understand, it's something quick, something that lasts from 30 to 60 seconds. And most people nowadays, if you ask them to describe what they are doing in 60 seconds, all of them, they're gonna say, yes, of course, I can tell you, and then they're gonna speak for hours. And according to studies that have shown that we create a positive or negative impression with only the first 7 seconds of our speech. So we have to be specific in our elevator pitch. But how we are going to do that? Of course, we need to have a pitch that is short and sweet and convey the right information. In this speech, you have to tell a story, a catchy story, in less than a minute, that requires, of course, good communication skills. In order to achieve that, you can use this structure. Here, as we can see, we have added 4 steps. The first one is to introduce yourself, your name, and information about you and your company. Then to provide a brief description about what you are doing. Afterwards, emphasizing on your USP. What is this element that makes you unique in the market? Why someone is going to buy your product instead of the product of someone else? And of course, to wrap up with a statement, because you need to have an ask. What is your ask? You want to raise an investment? You want to add a member to your team? Are you looking for an advisor? Every time you have to adapt. In order to create our elevator pitch, we can use also question like what I can do well. That means to use the abilities. What is the biggest asset to here showcase the confidence? What we would like to do, what are our goals and our mission vision, and what is our why we are motivated about that. Of course, here, as you can see, we use only positive words. For example, I'm able, I can, I'm capable, I know, and we don't use phrases with bad or negative feelings like I don't know, I'm not sure, maybe, and things like that. So here, I have added a template. So as you can see from the example, it starts like, hello, my name is that. I am the founder CEO of this startup that operates in this tech sector. Our customers are people who are willing or asking for this, and we help them with. And here it's the best way for us to showcase our competitive advantage, what differentiates us from the market, and of course, then conclude with a clear name of you and your company name in order to be able afterwards to find you and search more about your company. So, some do's and don'ts about elevator pitch is, of course, try to smile, to try to maintain and have eye contact. So, I know that maybe some of you might ask, and if we have to pitch in the virtual world, what we can do? Of course, you can try to keep your eyes in front of the camera and not looking in the mirror in the corner of your computers, and take advantage of your voice by highlighting the words that are the most important. Also, you can take some pauses by waiting for some seconds in order to share your clear message. Moving now back to the do's, you need alternative pitches. You won't share the same pitch with an investor and with, let's say, an advisor or someone that you want to add into your team. Of course, you need time to be prepared for that, and you have to present yourself as a solution provider. Moving now to the don'ts. Of course, you don't want to rush. Take your time. You don't want to be shown like you have learned something by heart. So try to be physical or neutral as possible, as much as possible, and try to use simple words and phrases. Don't use words that someone that's not from this sector won't be able to understand. And of course, body language again is crucial. And here you can also try to not move a lot your hands because this might disrupt the audience. So here I have added a small game. So I'm gonna read for you, or you can also take a moment to read this elevator pitch in order to see if we can find this company. So this company's pitch starts that most tourists booking online care about price and hotels are one of the highest costs for when traveling. On the other hand, platforms like Couchsurfing have proven that over 500,000 people are willing to lend their couches or spare bedrooms. We have created a platform that connects travelers with locals, letting them rent our rooms or even entire place. Travelers save more money and locals can monetize their empty rooms with just like 10% commission. What does that sound? Can anyone here wants to try to find this company?
I guess
I can
Airbnb,
help.
αγάπη.
Yes, Hal, it's Airbnb, as we can see also here from the solution. And I have another example here. It has to do with a company that helps in the productivity. So as you can see here, their competitive advantage is that with their platform, they can keep the employees well organized. So this is a productive platform, and this platform is the Slack. So now we have seen the basics of the elevator pitch, and now we can move to the pitch deck. So the pitch deck is a presentation. You have to create 10 to 15 slide presentation that includes your business model canvas, or it's like a short business model plan. So in order to create that, of course, you need a cover page. As you can see here for the example, we used our organization involved. We have our name and entrepreneurship. Afterwards, we have the three pillars of support that we provide: founder support, upskilling, and business innovation. And then we have our tagline, igniting innovation, accelerating founders since 2012. So we used here also the date because for us, it's important to highlight that we are one of the pioneers in Greece as a startup support organization. We have also added here the date of the pitch deck is sent, of course our logo, and from the other side we have added our website and our contact details. So now you might ask me, oh, is that so important? Yes, it is, because according to a short survey that we have run in Signed and Vault, more than 20% of the pitch decks that we receive, they don't have contact details. And in order to find their information, we have to run back to the email or the application that they submitted. So if you have them, you might win, let's say, useful time for the person who is going to take a look of your pitch deck. So the second slide has to do with the company mission and vision. So you need to summarize here a summary in line about your vision, the product, and the mission. You want to keep it as short as possible and of course memorable. So here we have an example that it says we inform today's SMEs with the power of tomorrow's data technology. Afterwards, we highlight the information about the market. This slide is very important because this one can differentiate you from the other about the marketing research that you have done, the market perspective. You have to know your market. What is the sector that you want to get in? What is the market size of this sector? You are going to reach the local or the global environment. And here also you can take advantage of some trends information. From the other side of the blue box, you can also see that here we have the market perspective of another company. And this company took also advantage of the infographics in order to be more creative and not so boring for someone that's going to read it for the first time. Afterward,
Can I ask something? Or after?
yes, you
Okay.
can.
Okay, thank you. According to the market records that we have, if we don't have market records for our location, and we have only on high level, some numbers or 1% or
Yes.
something else. What we can do for this?
Okay, Christos, as I can understand, you're from Greece, right? So
It's
you're
clear.
you're gonna say, which countries look like Greece? They have the same behavioral patterns. Let's say this can be Italy, this can be Spain, and then you're gonna say that this model in Italy or Spain has this number. According to that, we can bring this trend in Greece because we have the same characteristics. So you can do this comparison.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Okay. The competitors is not in this
It's
section.
in two slides later.
Okay, okay,
I'm
okay.
gonna show you.
Thank you.
Then we move to the product and service. So here it's our time to shine and share information about our product and service. You can also take advantage of image visuals, or here if you also have a product or a demo, you can add a QR link, something that's going to present also your product or service. And if you want to highlight your characteristic, again, you can take advantage of the infographic as we have in the image in the other part. As you can see here, because they provide 24/7 support, they use the hand with the grill, or because they have the service, this infographic of the person talking. So moving now to my favorite, favorite part, which is the competition. It's very important because it can also make you to stand out because you know where you are, what makes you competitive, and what is your position in the market. Because as I can understand, all the startups that are here in this call, we used this example. It's the easiest, let's say, graph that you can use, and you want to be on the right and top, like being the blue in order to be more competitive. And you can also use the images of the other competitors around of your logo. This one is ideal if you are in the early stage. If you have, let's say, created your website, you have a clear product, you have your MVP, you can also add a table with the characteristics and then add a checklist about the characteristics that you have and the extra ones that you have and the competitors that they don't have. So this one was the slide that you wanted. Then, of course, we have the revenue model. So how you're going to make money? Are you going to have a model that's commission based? Are you going to have a model that the customer is going to pay for once and then they're going to have a free service? I don't know. This one depends from you in the pricing policy strategy. Here you can also use something like that. That's the first Airbnb model, so it's clear. You can see that they take 10% commission of each transaction, and also they have added some numbers regarding the numbers that they have achieved till now. And if you have different customers, of course, you can add information about all the different revenue models that you want to achieve. Maybe you want to have, let's say, a freemium model and then add a commission model. Moving now to the next slide, we have the financial data. So you need to have a graph, a place where in an image that you can show your financial forecast, especially in the early years, because you want to highlight your commitment to this project. And of course, you can also mention some assumptions that you used here. The market share that you want to achieve, or the number of customers that you want to achieve in the future, the revenues, and things like that. Then we have the team slide. So here it might be heard funny to you to have a slide about the team. No, it's important because behind every idea, it's a strong team of people. Here you don't need to have long pages with the CV of the team member, just the name and the titles. And here you can also take advantage by adding a button with the LinkedIn profile. So the one that is going to search and find more about it, they are just going to click into the LinkedIn profiles and they will be able to find more information about you and of course your company, because they are not investing only in the company but also in the people behind that company. Then we have the development history. Here, if you are an early stage company, you can add, let's say, some good publicity, or you can also add some awards or accelerators that you have taken part, and some testimonials of people that used your product or services. And if you are for more years in the market, you might also here show us the history of the company, or if you had, let's say, a pivot, here is the right moment to showcase it. And of course, because it's a pitch deck, you need also to have your
Can I
investment
ask
out.
something about the previous page?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. This is the right place to, let's say, um, get a roadmap maybe of the product you
Yes, you can
propose.
also do that. Yes, that for example, now you have just created the app and you want by the end of the Q3 to finalize your testing and then be ready by the end of Q4 to officially launch your application. It can also be a scenario. Or if you have run, let's say, a pilot, someone tested your product or service, you can add here also testimonials from the users.
Okay, thank you. And the roadmap, it can include steps by the previous months or years or only the future.
For the future, you can also do it here in the next slide that I have the investment.
Okay.
because you need to have an ask by the end of your pitch deck. So if you send your pitch deck to an investor, of course, you might ask them, let's say, I don't know for how much money. Let's assume that you are asking for 50,000 of euros, and you are going to highlight how you are going to use this money. How many do you want to invest in new hires? How many in technology? How much in marketing? So if you don't want to send this deck to an investor, you can add here your milestones of the future. So what do you want to do? So here you can add this info.
Okay, thank you.
And in order to create your pitch deck, you can find everywhere templates. Canva has several templates for free, PowerPoint, and also in our site we have some free tools that we can use. And let's move now to the last parts, the do's and don'ts. So of course you need to always have your copyright, your logo in all the pages. You can take advantage by, let's say, make it more fancy by using some photos, graphics, and elements, in order not to be boring and not to be the pitch that it's only white and black. You're going to send it in the PDF format because, for example, I am a Mac user, Michalis is a Microsoft PC user, and the file might break. So, if you have it in a PDF format, both of us, we are going to see the ideal presentation and not a cracked presentation. If you have a product or service, again, you can add your demo, you can add a QR, you can add a clickable link. Find a way to add that into your presentation. You might also create, let's say, a video. You can also add a tracker on that link and see how many click this link. As we said in the start, we have to tell an interesting story. Ideally, you want to highlight that you have traction and, of course, to use verbal mechanism. And moving now to the don'ts. Don't create a pitch deck that is 20, let's say, slides. You want something like that it's between 10 to 15 slides. You don't want to have so much text that is not able, the user is not able to read it. So try to take advantage of using, let's say, bullet points, images, graphs, graphics. The one that is going to read your pitch deck, they are not an auditing company, so you don't need to add several financial information. If they want to have this kind of information, they might ask in the future. Of course, you don't want to cover everything because you want to have a second call with them, meet them again and share more info about your startup. Don't use acronyms because especially in the deep tech industry that you are, if you send a deck to someone that is not from that industry, it might be very difficult for him or her to understand what you're trying to tell. Of course, you need an updated presentation, a presentation of 2 or 3 years before. And of course, try to pay attention to the layout. Don't have bad and cracked graphics and low qualities of images. So I think I've said everything, so don't give up. You can do it. Here are also our contact details, and I'm gonna stop sharing my screen in order to be able to see me and ask me question if you have more. No, no, Mike, I think I'm okay with the time. We have
Yes,
time.
Agape, we are perfectly on time. You are
Perfect.
free to hear any questions if you like. In case we have recorded the session, also Agape will share with us the presentation and I will share it with you later. I don't know if you have any pitch decks here that you would like to maybe review right now and give you feedback on them now. In any case, Agape, if we do not have any questions, we can end this session. thank you very much for being here with us today.
Thank you, Mike.
I think the
Good luck to
presentation,
all the teams because they're going to pitch in 2 weeks.
yes,
So
you
if they
scored
need
them,
anything,
but feel free to,
yes,
yeah.
feel free to contact us. Also, you can also take advantage of the template that we have in the presentation. But I'm sure that if you email Mike, he's going to reply immediately and share with you more info.
Thank you, Agapi. Thank you everyone for being here, and stay tuned because we'll be in touch with some nice things that are coming. Have a good weekend and
Thank
bye bye.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everybody.
Bye.